KwaZulu-Natal Cogta MEC Thulasizwe Buthelezi has placed disaster management teams on high alert. This follows an urgent weather outlook by the South African Weather Services with a dual level 5 thunderstorms and level 2 for parts of the province. MEC has directed emergency response units to monitor the Umgungundlovu, Gwala, uMzinyathi, uThukela, Amajuba Districts where heavy downpours, hail and damaging winds are expected. The rest of the province remains on alert level 2. Let's speak now to KZN Cogta spokesperson Senzelwe Mzila. Mzila, thank you for your time and for joining us this morning. What has led to the decision to escalate to alert level 5?
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers. The province of KZN has multiple warnings that are in place right now. As you've mentioned earlier on, we've got a level 5 warning that is in place in a number of areas, a level 2 warning that is in place. Also, the province is coming from a heat wave that we have been experiencing throughout the week. So there are multiple threats that are facing the province right now, and the MEC for Cogta is taking these conditions very seriously. The Weather Service has indicated to us that the level 5 warning is in effect from around midday today, and this is a warning that we take very seriously, as it warns of more than 50 millimeters of rain that we might expect within the areas that you mentioned earlier on. So these teams have been placed on high alert by the MEC for Cogta, Reverend Thulasizwe Buthelezi.
So these teams are on high alert. Maybe just talk to us with regards to some of the coordination between local authorities, emergency services, as well as the provincial government to respond.
Yes. Just yesterday, a special JOC meeting, Joint Operations Committee, sat where we had a number of stakeholders, including other sister departments and other state entities such as SANRAL and other entities that are critical for the province. Part of the work that was being done, it was to ensure that through the Provincial Disaster Management Center, the province is ready and all of these entities have got their plans in place, as what we are expecting could interrupt major routes. It also does pose a serious risk to human lives, as we are expecting a bit of hail and we are also expecting heavy rains that could cause localized flooding. So in terms of coordination, the Department of KZN Cogta is working closely with all of these stakeholders to ensure that routes are monitored and that people are on the ground, or boots are on the ground, to ensure that people are safe during the storm that we are expecting from midday today.
And are there any further precautionary measures that you're able to take, especially with possibly evacuating people that are living in low-lying areas where we expect some of these floods to take place?
Well, the department is concerned about areas that are low-lying across the province. We are also working closely with municipalities, specifically within these areas that have been mentioned, areas within the Ugu district, uThukela district, Umgungundlovu district, and parts of the Gwala and Amajuba district. We are also concerned as well for areas that are low-lying and there's a risk of flooding there. We have made available public facilities within these communities. But at this moment in time, we've just put all of these plans in anticipation. Should the situation deteriorate further, these teams will be activated and they will ensure that communities are then put into these community halls where the need arises.
And furtherance to those community halls, other resources that you're just putting on standby, being some of those rescue operations, medical aid. I mean, you do mention that the public spaces are in place for such eventualities?
Yes, and also we're working closely with our social partners. We've got a number of social partners that work closely with the department, and we are ensuring that our communities are safeguarded. Also, our major concern as well is that since there has been this heat wave that has been going on, we are also concerned that parents must ensure that children do not play near large bodies of water. We've already had incidents where there's been drowning incidents in a number of communities, whereby you find that children are playing in near large bodies of waters that are unguarded. So the MEC for Cogta, Reverend Thulasizwe Buthelezi, is appealing also to communities to ensure that we alert our children about the dangers of fast-moving water and about the dangers of large bodies of water that are unguarded.
You make mention of children playing in large bodies of water, and we're speaking here of an alert level 5. What advice would you have, especially for employers who expect people to be traveling to work in situations where we are expecting the heavy downpours such as this afternoon? How aware should employers and other places of business be, especially when there's an expectation of employees to be commuting to work?
Well, the warning that we have from the weather service is specifically for today only from around midday to around about midnight. We are concerned in terms of motorists using our roads, and anyone who might be using our roads. We do appeal to them that they ensure that the weather conditions they pay close attention to, and also that they do not cross low-lying bridges or rivers. We know that just a small amount of water is powerful enough to sweep away a vehicle. So we are calling for vigilance. We are also calling for employers that might have staff that utilize routes that are unsafe. It's important that we put the safety of staff first. If there are low-lying bridges that they cross, it's important that people do not take any risks with their lives. You will remember that later in the year, last year, we had a number of cases where vehicles were swept off low-lying bridges. So it's quite dangerous, and we are appealing for people to be vigilant, specifically in regards to this.
Yeah, we're seeing high numbers and a frequency of such incidences when it comes to floods, particularly in that province. So are you finding that your response plans to floods is getting better by each incident?
Well, the province is fortunate in that part of the key interventions that were done by the MEC Reverend Thulasizwe Buthelezi, it was to build strong partnerships with NGOs. We know that the government purse is limited, or the fiscus is limited. So through this partnership, we've been able to bring on board a number of capabilities that have really assisted the province in terms of being disaster ready and being disaster resilient. We have a number of capabilities right now that we did not have before as a result of this intervention by MEC Buthelezi. We have teams that are able to assist us, whether it be situations such as blizzards, whether it be situations such as wildfires. Also, we've got specialized teams that continue to add on to our capacity for search and rescue. We also have teams that we're working closely with to alert communities, to do loud hailing, to go out on mass communication campaigns, to alert communities about the dangers of inclement weather conditions whenever we receive such warnings. So there's greater collaboration amongst all stakeholders, and this is really testament to the leadership that MEC Buthelezi continues to provide to the department.
And lastly, what would you say, I mean, you speak of disaster resistance, what would you say are the long-term strategies that are being put in place in order to reduce the risk and the impact of future floods in the province?
Well, part of these interventions is being proactive in terms of ensuring that we engage with our communities. We've got the Provincial Disaster Management Center, through which we visit a number of communities. We visit schools just to alert and to educate our communities about the importance of taking weather warnings seriously. We also are engaging as well in a proactive steps whereby we are actually building disaster centers within rural communities. Currently, we've got a center that we are building in the area of Nkandla, which is a deeply rural area. The aim is to ensure that should any incident occur within these rural communities, our teams are they positioned within the community and able to respond swiftly. This is something that the MEC is championing, and it's being rolled out to a number of rural communities, because we've realized that it's important that we have teams on the ground in such areas so that they can respond quickly
and timelessly. Thank you so much, spokesperson of Cogta in the province of KZN, that's Senzelwe Mzila, speaking to us there about the alert levels 5 and 2 that have been put out for the province